Number 10. The Sataramawa Tribe. In most societies, becoming a man usually means something like getting your driver's license or making it all the way with a girl. For the Sataramawa tribe in Brazil, becoming a man is much more painful. The Sataramawa tribe believes that to be considered a man, they must experience the most excruciating pain imaginable. Facing that pain would prove their strength and worthiness. According to the tribal chiefs, a life lived with no kind of suffering or effort is hardly worth anything at all. The leaders subjected boys as young as 12 years old to hundreds and hundreds of bites from bullet ants. The bullet ant has the most painful sting in the animal kingdom. Entomologist Justin Schmidt, the inventor of the Schmidt Sting Pain Index, said the sting of a bullet ant was like huge waves and crescendos of burning pain. It wasn't just 2 or 3 of these waves. It continued for around 12 hours. Crash, recede, crash. It was absolutely excruciating. That was just one bullet ant. For the Sataramawa initiation ritual, boys put on gloves made of leaves that are filled with dozens of these ants. Then, they must keep the gloves on for 10 minutes while performing a ritual dance. Then they do it repeatedly for a total of 20 times. The boys experience unimaginable pain, shake uncontrollably for hours, and sometimes experience muscle paralysis, disorientation, and hallucinations. Once the ritual is complete, the boy is now a man, ready to face the dangers of the Amazon rainforest. Number 9. Cicada 3301. Not every secret ritual involves ancient tribes deep in the jungle. Some secret societies possibly still exist to this very day. This ritual is so modern, it involves cryptography, internet puzzles, hacking, and more. There's even a feature film about this secret society. We're talking about Cicada 3301. It all started in 2012 with a mysterious image posted on the website 4chan. The image, signed by 3301, was just white text on a black background that read, "We are looking for highly intelligent individuals. To find them, we have devised a test. There is a message hidden in this image." And just like that, the race began. What began as finding a hidden message in an image file turned into an online scavenger hunt with increasingly more complex puzzles. Supposedly, Cicada 3301 used these puzzles as an initiation ritual to find people skilled in cryptography and cybersecurity. One person who solved the puzzle and claims to have been part of the group said that he eventually worked on a coding project for Cicada 3301. He said that he barely knew what was going on. "I wasn't sure what I was getting into. They insinuated they were part of a bunch of different organizations," he said. To this day, no one is sure if Cicada 3301 was just an elaborate prank, a government recruiting tool, or something even more nefarious. For now, the secret society appears to have gone dark, or perhaps they have just gone deeper into hiding. Number 8. The Order of the Skull and Bones. How about a secret society whose members include former US presidents? Formed at the prestigious Yale University in 1832, the Order of the Skull and Bones continues to recruit members into its hidden folds to this very day. Each year, they invite 15 senior Yale students to take part in the initiation ritual for the Skull and Bones. The ritual takes place in a place appropriately named the Tomb. In a giant windowless fraternity house, they only allow members and initiates inside to participate in secret meetings and rituals. One reporter allegedly infiltrated and recorded the most sacred of rites for the Skull and Bones initiation ritual. The reporter said that the ritual involved initiates enduring obscene sexual insults, an imitation throat-cutting murder, and kissing an actual human skull. They finally bring initiates into the Order of the Skull and Bones by chanting the mantra, "The hangman equals death," The devil equals death. Death equals death. Some say that the Order of the Skull and Bones is nothing more than an overblown college frat house. Conspiracy theorists believe that the Skull and Bones are part of a plot to establish a new world order, and the society controls the CIA. Whatever the case, both former President George W. Bush and former Secretary of State John Kerry confirmed that they were part of the order. Number 7. Poro Society. Found in remote regions of Sierra Leone, Liberia, and the Ivory Coast, the Poro Society is an extreme boys' club. They only allow men into the group through secret initiations. The roots of the secret society run deep, with evidence of its existence going back to 1000 AD. Because it's been around for so long, they consider becoming a member of the Poro Society an important rite of passage for adolescent boys. Once a member, they elevate the boys in social status, prestige, and even politically. To become a member of the Poro Society, they subject boys to sleeping in groups in the wild, far away from friends and family. They are led by a chief known as Epee to learn secret Poro traditions, including drumming and song. It's not all song and dance though. Part of the initiation involves grueling self-mutilation, cutting, stabbing, and scarring themselves. Once they complete their initiation, they return home as full-grown adults. According to one study, most male adults that hold an elite position of power are part of the Poro Society because of the symbolic power of the group. That same study found that members use their position within the Poro Society to evade the law and go unpunished for human rights violations in the name of defending culture. Number 6. Sandy. The Sandy is essentially the female version of the Poro Society. Existing in many of the same regions as the Poro, the Sandy initiation is much like the Poros. They seclude the girls deep in the woods, far from their homes. But it gets much worse from there. Part of the Sandy initiation involves female genital mutilation, or FGM. It's as gruesome and painful as it sounds. Many regions where the Sandy exists are still trying to fight the barbaric ritual, but for the Sandy, it's meant to help women bear children. The scars exist to prove that the women are part of the Sandy. They teach them their womanly duties, including domestic skills, farming, and medicine. After the initiation and education are complete, the women return home and are eligible for marriage. Some women escape the horrid ordeal and try to spread awareness. One survivor said they forcibly took her from her home like a criminal and beat her severely. Another said that they forced the girls to lie in the blistering sun with nothing but a leaf on their backs and told them to stay in the sun until the leaf dried out. Fortunately, progress is being made against these awful initiation practices. Political leaders in Liberia have enforced a strict 3-year ban on all Sandy practices in the region. Number 5. The Freemasons. Of all the secret societies, this is probably one of the more popular ones. That kind of defeats the purpose of it being a secret, doesn't it? Anyway, the Freemasons have been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. They still shroud many of their rites and rituals in mystery. All Masonic rituals take place in a lodge, their secret meeting place. Since we can find Freemasons all over the world, each lodge may have its particular standards and practices. For example, some may have their initiation rituals written in a script, while others may not. This lack of standardization helps further keep the Freemasons shrouded in mystery. All Freemason initiation rituals heavily involve symbolism, with Freemasonry being described as a beautiful system of morality, veiled in allegory, and illustrated by symbols. Most initiations involve different degrees, some up to 3 degrees of initiation, from apprentice to master. Some lodges will also use tracing boards, illustrated depictions of emblems, and imagery to teach new initiates about being a Freemason. Once initiation is complete, members use secret hand signs, handshakes, or spoken codes to gain access to meetings or identify each other in public. There have been some very famous Freemasons throughout history. Do you know any of them? Leave your answers in the comments below. Number 4. Leopard Society. Have you ever heard stories of cannibals that live in the darkest jungles of Africa? Well, some of those stories might be true, and they might involve the Leopard Society. Existing at least from the 1700s until the early 1900s, members of the Leopard Society wore leopard skin clothing and hunted with weapons made from leopard claws and teeth. The Leopard Society would hunt unsuspecting travelers that would pass through their lands. Once they had their prey, they would cut off their flesh and organs. The blood and body organs of the victims were used to ward off evil spirits, prevent illnesses, and defend against spiritual attacks. Sometimes they drank the victim's blood for more strength on their next hunt. Edgar Rice Burroughs borrowed heavily from the idea of the Leopard Society in the novels Tarzan and the Leopard Men. Interestingly, the leopard skin clothing also inspired some of the costume designs for the tribes of Wakanda in Marvel's Black Panther film. The Leopard Society no longer seems to exist in modern Africa. One scholarly article said that the depictions of African people as barbarians and savages have caused concern for the representation of Africa. The same study states that these fictional accounts contribute to stereotypical and racist representations of past African societies being overemphasized. It's certainly an interesting take on the old school ideas of cannibals. What do you think? Tell me in the comments. Number 3. The Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. They formed the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, or just the Golden Dawn, in London in 1887. They are a secret society involved in the occult, the metaphysical, and the supernatural. Some famous members of the Golden Dawn include Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, Bram Stoker, and W.B. Yeats. Founded by former Freemasons, the Golden Dawn shared similar initiation rites and degrees to the Freemasons. Unlike other secret societies, the Golden Dawn allowed women to join. This was a pretty big deal back in the late 1800s. Supposedly, they wrote the rituals for the Golden Dawn down in the cipher manuscripts. They discovered the 56-folio bundle of encoded writings, decoded, and found them to contain many occult rituals, including Kabbalah, astrology, tarot, and more. No one knows who originally wrote the cipher manuscripts, and some believe that they were nothing more than forgeries. After many revolts and splinter groups formed, the Golden Dawn only lasted around the 1970s. An organization filed under the name Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn for non-profit status in 1988. They granted that same organization a trademark and patent for the symbol of the Golden Dawn in 1997. Could this occult secret society still lurk out there today? What do you think? Number 2. Epee. We can find the Epee Society in West Africa, including Nigeria and Cameroon. Coincidentally, the word Epee in the Ekoi language means leopard, but don't confuse them with that other Leopard Society. According to this society, Epee is a spirit that lives deep within the jungle. That spirit is present in all Epee Society rituals, and the members must honor the spirit. Members consider themselves messengers for their long-dead ancestors. Through the spirit Epee, they communicate and pay tribute to those ancestors. The Epee Society also believes in taking care of their own law enforcement. So to speak, members make and enforce their laws, dole out punishments like fines or boycotts, and judge their cases. They do all of this intending to keep those ancestral spirits happy. They only allow men into the Epee Society. They are initiated around the time when they reach puberty and must maintain their membership in secret. Supposedly, there are 7 or 9 ranks within the society, and men can pay their way up in ranking. The higher their ranking, the more power they have in their village or town. We can still find Epee shrines in modern regions of Nigeria, including the city of Calabar. These shrines serve many purposes as a meeting place, location for festivals and rituals, and the initiation and induction of new members. Mainly, they revere these shrines for their religious meanings, and some have secluded spaces to make offerings to deities or spirits. Number 1. The Illuminati. The Illuminati seem to be the granddaddy of all secret societies, and for good reason. No one is sure where the line is between fact and fiction with the Illuminati. If they exist, that's probably exactly how they want it. The Illuminati existed in Bavaria way back in 1776. Formed by Adam Weishaupt, Weishaupt wanted to eliminate all religions and topple every government so mankind could live peacefully and as equals. But that group supposedly only lasted for 10 years. Many modern-day groups claim to have ties back to the original Illuminati, but we can prove no actual linkage. Members of the Illuminati would have secret code names for one another. Like the Freemasons, they also heavily use symbolism, such as the Owl of Minerva and the All-Seeing Eye. Initiates would have to undergo a grueling 3-year process to be allowed into their society. Once allowed in, it would force them to secrecy under the punishment of death. Which mysterious ritual surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe. See you soon.